Welcome to the City of Boynton Beach City Commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, and the time is 6 p.m. We will now turn to the Deputy City Clerk for roll call.
Mayor Shelton,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hay,
Present.
Commissioner Cruz,
Present.
Commissioner Turkin,
Present.
Commissioner Kelly.
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you, Tammy. Pastor Santos from Living Waters Church will lead our invocation tonight. Then Vice Mayor Hay will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Let's stand for the invocation and the pledge. Is the pastor here? No? No, Pastor Santos. Okay, it looks like Vice Mayor Hay will be giving the invocation tonight.
Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this day and an opportunity to serve this great city of Boynton Beach. We pray now that you will guide our minds and our hearts, that we will make the right decision, which will make Boynton Beach the place to live, work, and play. We thank you and we ask your blessings upon this commission and staff. We pray that you put your loving arms around us individually and collectively. We thank you, Lord, for all that you have done, all that you are doing, and all that you will do. And we'll be so careful to give you all the honor and all the praise that only you deserve. For it's in Jesus' name that we do pray and ask it all. Let every heart say amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We are now moving on to the agenda approval, additions, deletions, and corrections. Let's now begin to my right with Commissioner Cruz. Do you have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the
I do
agenda?
not, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Hay?
No, I don't.
Commissioner Kelly?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Commissioner Turkin? Okay. That was easy. If there's nothing else, so we'll move on to
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly made the motion to approve the agenda. Commissioner Turkin made a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Sorry. There was some confusion about item 8B. Because it has been noticed, we left it on the agenda, but if we're going to move it, I would request that maybe we discuss doing that in the beginning of the agenda, so if people are here, they don't have to wait for the entire meeting to move that, because I believe, Commissioner Turkin, you had things that you wanted addressed before we address it as a board.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to staff, and that didn't happen from the last meeting. It was just pushed. I don't think anyone here has talked to staff about this.
Right.
So do I need to make a motion to move it up?
We'd have to untable.
You have to make a motion to move it up, then we need to make a motion to untable it, so we can talk
Sure.
about what you guys want to see and when that needs to be done by for it to come back, and then address a date certain for us to then put it back on the table until then.
Yes, I'll make a motion to move up 8A to after 3B.
8B.
I'm sorry, 8B to after
B.
3B.
Second.
Commissioner Turkin made a motion to move up 8B after 3B. Vice Mayor Hay, second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Motion to approve the agenda as
Motion
amended.
motion to approve the agenda as amended. Okay, so we're moving that up. Okay.
Do we need a motion on the motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Commissioner Kelly made the motion to approve the agenda as amended. Commissioner Cruz made the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We'll move on to informational items by the members of the City Commission. Let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin.
I don't have anything specific to the agenda. I will say East Boynton Little League is on their way to state. So let's cheer on their 12U's team. And, hopefully they bring back another one.
They will.
Excellent. Commissioner Kelly?
No, I don't have any informational
Vice
items.
Mayor
Thank
No, I
you.
don't have it.
Commissioner Cruz?
I do not, thank you.
Okay, great. We'll move on to the announcements. Can we please have the staff from the library come up to make the announcement?
Good evening, Jeannie Taylor, Library Director. My graduate, Juana Pedro, unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. She's ill and her children are ill. But we were celebrating the fact that she just got her high school diploma through our Career Online High School program. And she also got a career certificate in office management. So we're happy for her, and I'd like to just share a little bit about the program. It's pretty easy. You just have to be an adult over 19 years old. You have to live in the city, and you have to have a library card. So Juana was our 32nd graduate since we've been doing this program. So we are changing lives for the citizens of Boynton Beach. You know, once they get a high school diploma, they can get a better job, they can go on and continue with their education, and we want to continue to do that. And we've had a lot of success with it, and we'll keep it going.
Thank you. Moving on to the following announcement will be the comprehensive plan kickoff presentation. Can I please have staff come and introduce the item and begin the presentation?
Good evening, Amanda Radigan, Planning and Development Director. As this commission knows, the overhaul of the comprehensive plan was one of the items that was ranked very highly in the city's strategic plan last year. Because of that, it was budgeted this year, and the staff went through the RFP process, and it was awarded to Chenmore and Associates to help lead this effort in coordination with city staff to start this process. So we do have Chenmore and Associates here today. They will be doing a short presentation to introduce themselves, introduce the process, say a little bit about what comprehensive planning is, and they're going to end with a proposal for engagement to get some feedback as we start the outreach work. So I will introduce Chenmore and Associates to take it here, and I'll be available afterwards for questions.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. It's our true pleasure to be here tonight. We are so excited to initiate this process. I am Nils Zacharias, Director of Planning of Chenmore and Associates. And with me here today is Osneil Leon. He is a Principal Planner and Project Manager for this effort. Chenmore and Associates, we have an established reputation here in Palm Beach County. We are more than 150 professionals between land planners, engineers, transportation engineers, civil, environmental. We have also arborists in our staff if you need any specific service with regard to the arborist. We have several offices throughout Florida. One of our main offices is in West Palm Beach in the town of Jupiter. We assemble a multidisciplinary team with high credentials and proficient in comprehensive plan updates. We are proficient in Florida statutes and public engagement. Specifically, myself, I have more than 25 years of experience in land planning and Florida statutes and public engagement. Mr. Osneil has more than 15 years of experience, the same in land planning. We also part of the team is Mr. Lance Lilly, Mr. Matt Veneziano. Matt is actually a resident of Boynton Beach. He lives very close by. And then we also have proficient engineers, because to update the city's comprehensive plan, we will need to look into the infrastructure and capital improvement. As I mentioned before we have an established reputation in Palm Beach County. We have prepared several comprehensive plan updates, including the following ones that are on the slide: in City of Lake Worth Beach, City of Westlake, Village of North Palm Beach, and so on. Because the comprehensive plan is a foundational document, is so important. But I also like to take a moment to reflect what is it and why it's so important. Before we move forward, I want to share with you this slide. This is the logo that will be representing this effort throughout the process. And I'm just very, very happy, and I want to say thank you to the city staff. We had been working together already in presenting this logo. It was truly a collaboration process to have this logo today to present to all of you. The comprehensive plan is a policy document. It's a mandate from Florida statutes. The Florida Growth Management Act that was adopted in 1985 is a mandate that all local governments, including counties and municipalities, must adopt a comprehensive plan and land development regulations. Currently, the Florida Commerce is the state land planning agency that will oversee this process. Once this council approves that is ready the document to be sent to the state, then we will transmit it to the state and other agencies for review. This is one of the graphics that I'm a graphic-oriented person. I have a bachelor degree in architecture. So this is very important because it shows that the comprehensive plan is in compliance, must be in compliance with Florida statutes, and also needs to reflect the vision and values of this amazing city. And it needs to be aligned or consistent with the strategic plan and the operating budget and CIP. All of that needs to be part of the comprehensive plan. However, the comprehensive plan does not involve land development regulations or site plan regulations, site plan standards. And again, this comprehensive plan that is mandated by Florida statutes must be an aspirational document, must be like a big brush that has to reflect the community vision. What it's about, what are the important values that Boynton Beach embrace? And then changes in state legislation, trends and challenges affecting the community, and definitely changing conditions. All of those key factors will be reflected on the updated comprehensive plan. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Olleum.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm Osniel Leon, Principal Planner with Boynton Associates. Very happy to be here to go over the scope of project. And as you can see in this slide, these are all the elements and chapters in your current comprehensive plan. The project team will review each of these elements and will update each of these elements. Each element has two components. The first component will be what we call a technical document. This includes the data and analysis and map series. And the second component of each element is what we call policy document. And this document is where you'll see the goals, objectives, and policies. And the naming of these elements as it stands right now, when you receive your final document, there's a possibility that some of those names will change. One of the guiding principles in preparing a comprehensive plan is to promote a sustainable community. And what that means is the comprehensive plan should have a balanced growth, long-term livability, and economic livability. It should encourage compact and mixed-use development that reduces sprawl and protects open space. It also supports our residents and that should have access to transportation, housing. Doesn't matter what their income or background is, and also minimizes waste and energy use. In summary, the proposed comprehensive plan will protect the city's identity and character. embrace resiliency and sustainability, preserve the city's values, adopt long-term strategies, and provide a good quality life for its residents. We'll also promote community partners and encourage sustainable development. In order to prepare the meaningful and sustainable comprehensive plan, one of the key bases of the comp plan is to gather input from the public. That should be the basis, and that will guide us to provide goals and objectives that represent the city's residents' visions and values. And this will be a continuous engagement with the public. We will maintain outreach throughout the process, not just like key milestones in this process. As I just mentioned, community input is the cornerstone of the comprehensive plan, and we are envisioning a wide range of methods to gather this community input and public outreach. We are envisioning in-person public meetings, virtual public meetings, digital engagement. More specific, the theme workshop. We are proposing 2 or 3 visioning theme workshop, and what that includes is we will each workshop will encompass 2 or 3 elements, and we'll focus on those 3 elements. That will be the theme for that workshop. Also, we'll have stakeholder panels. We will facilitate group discussions. We'll provide interactive material for the community, mapping material, for example, things of that nature to kind of gather the public's visions for the community. We are proposing also 2 city halls. The first city hall will be like a mid-process review. In that, we will present goals and possible options to get feedback from the commission. And then the final plan and the final city hall would be like the final overview proposal. And at that moment, we're just looking to gather your endorsements and maybe some minor tweaks in order to continue on the next step. We will also have, we're planning to have pop-ups, kiosks, multiple city events. We will get the opportunity to get the word out, provide material to the community, QR codes where they can scan and go to a specific website where they can find all kinds of information regarding this comprehensive plan update. And also for the virtual public, the residents that are not able to attend in person, we're visioning to have streams from, at this workshop so they can be able to attend. We can provide live polls and Q&As with the virtual public as well. Again, we'll provide an open house platform, like a website to have materials, comment cards. There you can find survey links so the community can go to one place and get all this information. Because we are aiming to have a maximum community participation, we're going to be coordinating with the city to effectively use maybe multiple already available platforms such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram that the city might have. We can also promote the project that way. To accomplish this comprehensive plan update, there are key steps that we'll follow. Step number one, we are here today doing an informational presentation to the commission, and then we're going to end up with the 2 big steps at the bottom of it, which will be the public hearing. That would be the transmittal. If we have the commission blessing, it will be transmitted to the state with all applicable agencies, If everything goes, is good, then we'll come back to you for a final public hearing, and that will be the adoption of the comp plan. We are foreseeing this whole process to take approximately 30 to 40 weeks. And with that, we'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Questions from Commissioner Kelly?
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to just briefly ask you, I know you went through your ways of engagement, and I know when we've done similar things like our strategic plan and our park master plan, although we've had lots of various ways of having meetings and virtual and everything, our participation is low, to be honest. And so I want to make sure, and I know that there's a lot of different ways that you're planning to roll out and have meetings. What do you know, if you're a couple meetings in and you've had a virtual meeting and you've had a couple of in-person meetings, are there some strategies that you have that either the city can do or that you do to kind of encourage participation? Because we have some residents who, are not online or don't have access, and then we have some residents who aren't as mobile, and so I want to make sure that we really are addressing, all of the residents, and if you have markers or if you notice that there isn't participation, then what is then your next step, just so we have an idea as to what we can expect. Do you provide feedback back to us saying, hey, we're having these meetings and we're not getting feedback? Is there something that city staff can do? I want to make sure that we're really, this is a team effort, and we'll make sure that we get as much participation as possible. So I just wanted to kind of get your feedback, because we've done these strategic meetings and park master plan meetings, and we really haven't had we haven't had as much participation. Then we have residents that come to meetings and say they didn't know about it. And so I just want to make sure that we really are being proactive about that. And so I just wanted to get your feedback on that.
Thank you for your question. We believe as a team that it's imperative to start in different fronts. This campaign is a campaign effort, basically, and we are going to partner and work really close with the city staff. One of the big differences that will be proposing, this is for another project, but we will prepare posters that will have these QR codes that it will be easier for anybody to just, we are all in love with our phones, so and then they can scan this and answer the survey. The other difference that we are proposing also is that we are going to attend city events. We call it kiosk or pop-ups. So in those city events, we'll prepare these little cards, which also will have the QR codes, and we will provide to them. We have experience on another project, high participation, when people can do it in their own time. And the success is to have a cross-reference of different type of participation, because when we do open house here at City Hall, not everybody has the time or not everybody knows about it. But if we go to a green market or any other event, that's when we will provide this, we will talk about the project, and as always, we aim for maximum participation. And we will be working closely with Amanda.
Yeah, so this is something we've already started to discuss internally. We have met. We are actually going to continue talking about a timeline for public engagement. What we stressed is that we want a very good cross-section of the types of engagement that we are offering. For example, one of the first events that we're hoping that we get a kiosk in is going to be this year's night market. So we're trying to be present where people are, as well as the typical forums. I love that they are calling this a campaign, because I think marketing is a big part of this. We already have staff working on postcards for mailers. We're trying to attack this at all fronts, and we'll keep an eye on it. If we see that we're not getting the participation, we'll pivot.
Yeah. Also, just to inform the commission, Chen Moore has been selected by the American Planning Association Florida chapter to present at the conference in Daytona Beach our programming for public participation. We call it 4Ps, a proactive public participation program, because we focus on an overall cross-section of different type of engagements.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I know, Amanda, we've had, I'm glad that we're working on that. Thank you for working on that with them and just making sure that we really do encourage that public participation. And, I'll carry the postcards with me and hand them
Yes.
out. But maybe if we can even talk to businesses too and post flyers up in windows in all of the
Great
districts
is we have
within the
economic
city.
development on board on some of this too, so they will have these materials. We'll make sure that everyone has them. It is going to be a group effort, but this was a big part of the RFP and the grading system, and Chenmore has had a lot of success in this venue, which, led to a big part of their selection.
Great, thank you so much. Thank you.
I do think it's important that every member of the commission also does take the initiative to get this out to their constituent base. So, I have been sending emails of other updates to the citywide, but I do encourage everyone up here to pull your constituent database and start communicating with them via email to encourage them to do that. I do have one question. This logo, this was just for the presentation, or is this something that
It
the
could
water
be.
tower is a little like meh?
All right, look, we're that's part of
It's
the.
just the water tower.
It was
You know,
funny.
we were
The sailfish
better than
came
that.
up a lot.
I just
So
had to ask.
there is absolutely, this can be changed. The real kind of idea behind this is planning today, thriving tomorrow.
Love that tagline.
The image, we can amend as needed. I think when it comes to marketing and logos, we all have our own opinions, but
Right.
if there is feedback you guys want to give us, this can change. This is a living document. But once we start printing
Right, once you
and
start
marketing,
Are we?
the idea behind it is
We
we
need to be
tried
known for
to
better things.
use the sailfish.
I've been getting a lot of requests on that, by the way. it
So
exists.
the idea behind the logo, though, just for some of the thought that happened, is that we did want to put some identifiable things for the city, which is the water tower. We also wanted to make sure we were including like a green element, which are the palm trees and the banyan tree. We wanted to make sure we included a scale of types of housing. So we have, like, you see the single-family homes, the middle housing, the higher. So we tried to be all-inclusive in this logo. But again, this can change.
Great. Any other comments from my colleagues?
Just one for me. With your other projects that you have implemented, what kind of participation, citizen participation, have you gotten? And how many other projects have you done? At least.
We have done more than dozens of updating comprehensive plans throughout the state, starting from Vero Beach to the north, all the way to, the last one was, it was North Palm, and also on Broward County. We just are finishing up. In fact, tomorrow, we're gonna be talking with them. So we have, in every community, Vice Mayor, the truth is every community is different. Some communities, they would like to do it more like on a lab without the participation, because they are small communities, Like, for example, I will just mention Village of Tecuesta, Village of North Palm Beach. They are a smaller community. And then people attend the workshops. They just attend to the, city hall. But other communities, they do demand further participation. For example, we are organizing now workshops for the city of Westlake, for example. We are going to be presenting a number of elements at the time. So every community is different, and we believe strongly that Boynton Beach, because it's a diverse community, will be well served by opening up and listening to everyone, so we can prepare a very meaningful and sustainable comprehensive plan.
That's why I asked for percentage, because I know that you can't go by numbers. Communities have different populations. So would you say 10%, 50% of the participation
Yeah,
Well, we're going to beat all of those, I'm telling you right now. Okay, but-
I'm sure, for sure. Usually, again, it's around 10%, I would say, because this is the thing. People do not participate heavily when everything goes well, So, I can really reflect on that. I live at the town of Jupiter, so I trust the planners in the town of Jupiter. So, and sometimes that's what happens when everything goes well and the residents and the business community trust all of you and trust the city staff, then they don't feel compelled to participate. Otherwise, they will show up with T-shirts here, like they do very often at Palm Beach County meetings. So it's not a bad thing if you don't have wide range of participation. It means also that they trust all of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we good to move on?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So we
you.
did
Thank
move
you.
up item 8B. So anyone that is here to speak on item 8B?
Anything that at this time, if we'd like to have a motion to
Untable?
untable it,
Okay.
correct.
So moved. Motion to untable 8B.
Commissioner Cruz Commissioner Kelly made the motion to untable item 8B. Commissioner Cruz gave the second. All those in favor say aye.
Right.
Aye.
And now you can have a discussion as to whether you want to hear the item tonight or move it to another time, date certain, and then we'll retable it.
Okay.
So my biggest thing is, I heard last time that a resident came up and just said, hey, we're just doing what the city's telling us to do. And so what I want to identify is there's something that we can do as a change within our city code so it doesn't impact both sides of the canal? Or is this a blanket variance because it needs to happen because there's some, higher level jurisdiction requirements above the city, that meets the needs of this variance? So I just want to make sure that we're not, the permitting process is as hard as it is. It's gotten better, Adam. You've done a great job with that. I just want to make sure that we can look inside and see if there's anything else we can do before adopting a blanket variance that could potentially impact other people
Right.
and mitigate, mitigate the concerns that residents have on both sides of the water there.
Yes, thank you. Amanda Radigan, Planning and Development Director. What I can say is that the request has changed form since the last time we heard it. Instead of doing what we're calling this blanket variance for everyone on that side, what they did is they went out, they did surveys, they took measurements, and now the variance represents 11 docks that are not meeting code but existing today as non-conforming. So the variance request now is for these 11 docks to be able to be rebuilt at the existing measurements that they exist today.
Okay, good. All right, so I think that solves the issue then. And then do we know if there's correspondence between the other HOA?
Yeah, so there has been.
I know they're two different
our-
communities, and I guess we didn't know that they were two different
Yes,
communities.
there was a little bit of confusion. Since then, our principal planner, Gabe Spegny, has been in contact with both HOAs or their representation, the attorneys, and he has been working with both of them to keep them informed of how the variance request is moving forward. This item was also publicly noticed again, so everyone knows that it may be heard today too. But yes, Gabe has been in contact with both of them.
Okay. I'm okay to continue the discussion, hear from the residents, and,
And
yeah,
one,
if you have
Gabe,
something.
if you could give an update too.
one
Gabe
of-
Savigny, Principal Planner for the record. I have been in contact with both of them. I have requested if there was any updates from what we would consider the opposing on the last meeting. I have not received anything as of today, but I don't know if there's also anybody here that is still in opposition. But I have not received, at my request, any formal opposition to what the current proposal is.
And how many times have we communicated with them since the last time this was discussed?
Almost every day, or not since the last time we discussed, excuse me, since this was actually being publicized for this hearing. Also, with some of the issues with typically it's a 10-day notification process at the request of the opposition, and with the applicant agreeing that at the time of the submittal, I did send all documents over to grant an additional time for them to be able to review those documents.
And I believe they had legal counsel representing them. Have we had any correspondence with them? Do they seem okay with this adjustment? Because if I remember correctly, I think there was a brief amount of conversation revolving around some form of change at the last meeting, and that there would be follow-up. I just want to make sure that was done.
All the requested information, so again, the change that went from the initial request was for 32 feet, a maximum of 32 feet. At some of the discussion that happened at the last hearing, and with the effort of the applicant to conduct the actual site survey, they were able to indicate from the shoreline to what the extent was, and there's only 11 that are currently in violation of the quarter of the width of the waterway rule. Those 11 are the only ones that are requesting a variance at this time. It does not preclude any of these applications from actually getting a permit. It's only to allow for them to submit. So any state agency, building department, they still are required to get those permits. This just would allow them to proceed to be able to obtain those with if approved.
Perfect, thank you for that update. Okay, no, I'm good to move forward. Thanks for the additional information, and this is just first reading.
So a variance only requires one hearing for approval. Just for the city attorney, since this was advertised as a public hearing to be at 6, we're still okay to continue with the item now?
Yes, it's been untabled, so we can continue at this time with, I guess we've had the presentation. I don't know if there's any other presentation from the applicant, and then public comment, and then a vote.
The applicant is present, if you would like to hear from him as well.
Yes, please.
Can I ask one question? I was not here for the June 3rd meeting, and we didn't talk about it at agenda review because it was tabled. So I'm a little out of the water. So this is a little frustrating that now we're talking about this and moving forward. But what, I guess one of my questions is, and I'm not particularly comfortable without having something in writing from the objection part, the other side that objected, saying that they're now okay with it. Just because I don't want to get in a situation where they said, well, yeah, sure, we were going to send you a letter, or we were going to show up, but something happened. You know what, I would feel more comfortable if they objected, that they've rescinded that objection for my own comfort. But what was, I guess, and my question is around the objection, what was the objection from the residents on the other side of the canal? And if you could just briefly explain how we got from there to here, just because I was not at that June 3rd meeting.
Absolutely. For a little bit of brief background, the way the item was presented, there was a little bit of confusion around the request. The variance was written for a variance up to 32 feet deviation. The way the code requires dock maximums is essentially they cannot extend more than 1/4 the length into the waterway. So the idea is here's your waterway, 1/4 for a dock on this side, 1/4 for a dock on this side, and that leaves half the width for navigation purposes in between. There are existing non-conforming docks existing today that are in violation of that. They did get permits. The codes have changed in that time since they were built. And the only way to get them approved, since many of them are in disrepair and need to be rebuilt, in order to get them reconstructed, they now require a variance to be built exactly the way they are now. The way the variance was initially set up is that we did a maximum for the dock that was protruding the furthest, and that caused a lot of discomfort. So the revision now is saying instead of what was being perceived as a blanket variance for everyone to now protrude the maximum, it is detailed with an exhibit in the back that says these 11 units are getting a variance for 5 feet, 4 feet, 2 feet, whatever they exist like today. So the deviation goes from, I think, 1 foot to like 5-point-something feet of intrusion into that half.
But it's not
area.
extending any of the docks past where they are right now?
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
But where did it end up between the range of the 1.1 and the 5.4 feet?
So the 11 docks are within that area. So the maximum intrusion, let me pull it up.
5.4.
5.4.
5.4.
Thank you.
Looking at the
Is
backups.
the largest intrusion into that half of the waterway that should remain clear. So the largest intrusion is at 5.5 feet, and all the 11 are less than that.
But it's already built
But
at
it's
the
already
27 feet, so we're not extending it another 5 feet.
That is
It
exactly
is what
correct.
it is, okay.
Because in
But
order
what's
for them.
allowable there is 22 feet, and so now we're bringing it up to where they're in compliance.
Yes, and there are some extenuating circumstances, in my opinion, for this side of the canal, because they do have a natural shoreline. They don't have a seawall, a bulk, so they're all taken from the same place on the other side. This one varies because there are mangroves there, which is the reason for some of them extending further, existing today.
Right, okay. Gotcha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public comment?
Are we done with the
Do you
presentation?
need to hear a presentation from the applicant? Or were you okay moving forward with public comment?
It's up to you. I'm good.
I'm okay.
So if there's anyone here that wants to speak on this issue, please stand up and raise your right hand, because you do need to be sworn in and affirm that everything you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's you?
Okay.
Oh.
Anyone please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you swear to affirm that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You may have a seat.
I'm sorry, let's do our disclosures since this is quasi judicial as well.
Okay. Want me to start? Regarding items 8B, I have not had any ex parte communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit, and I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures or written communications be made part of the record. Vice Mayor Hay?
I have not had an ex parte communication. I have not received written communication. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a visit. I have not received expert opinion. I request that these disclosures and all written communication be part of the record.
As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications. I have received emails from residents at the last meeting. I have not conducted an investigation. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions other than staff. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Thank you, Mayor. As to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications. I have not received written communications other than what was handed to us during this meeting. I have not made a site visit. I have not received expert opinions. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record. Thank you.
Since the last discussion as to this matter, I have not had ex parte communications, have not received written communications, have not conducted investigation, have not made a site visit, have not received expert opinions besides the information in front of us. I request that these disclosures and all written communications be made part of the record.
Tammy, if you can read the item in the record.
Approval of the variance requested from Part 3, Chapter 3, Article 5, Section 3, supplemental regulations to grant an increase in the length of 11 docks more than 1/4 the width of the waterway where no more than 1/4 of the width is permitted. The deviation varies from 1.1 feet to 5.4 feet.
Now, if you don't need any more presentation, then we can just do public comment.
Anybody who would like to have public comment, come on down. We have 2 podiums, so you can start lining up at each of them on this item. And yeah, you'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. My name is Christina Sayre, and I am the HOA president for Mariner Village. We share the canal with Manatee Cove. As you have heard this evening, Manatee Cove is requesting a variance of 11 docks that are currently exceed the 25% width of the canal regulations. Of the 11 docks, 3 currently have boat lifts. The other 8 do not have boat lifts. The proposed variance does not include the boat lifts, which are permanent structures attached to the docks and extend into the canal another 8 to 10 feet. I put together a chart that has been passed out to you that looks like this. And the first page of the chart shows the 11 docks, the unit number, the 25% width canal per the regulation based on where they are located on the canal, the actual length of the docks, the amount of dock that extends beyond the regulation, and last, if a dock has a boat lift or not. The following 2 pages, which look like this, are the survey Exhibit 3 that were given to you by Manatee Cove. And they highlight in the red arrow where the 11 docks are located to give you a perspective of where each of the variances are. So for example, looking at the chart, the one dock in the variance extends into the canal 23.3 feet. It's the third from the bottom on the chart. In addition, the dock has a lift that is a minimum of 8 feet. In reality, the dock and the boat lift are permanent structures that extend into the canal 31.3 feet. The other 2 variance docks with lifts also extend in a similar amount. We agree with the variance request to maintain the existing docks at their current lengths. However, our concern is that the variance does not include boat lifts in the 25% canal width regulation. This gives leeways for additional docks to install boats with no regard how much the boat lifts encroach on into the already very narrow canal. I spoke to the Department of Environmental Protection about the 25% canal regulation. The permitting person I spoke with said that DEP and the Army Corps of Engineers specifically include boat lifts in the 25 canal with regulations. We ask that you amend the Manatee variance wording and Exhibit C.
Time's up, I'm sorry. Next, please.
That's 3 minutes, okay.
That was 3 minutes, yeah.
3 minutes.
To include the dimensions of both the boat and the docks.
Got it, thank you.
So to go along with that, the planning and zoning
Can
does
you
not.
state your name for the
My
record,
name is
please?
Craig Sayre. I'm a resident at Mariner Village. So since the planning and zoning does not include the boat lifts, which we found later in the game, and if you look at Exhibit B, you'll find it's only an excerpt of the code, okay? The code actually reads, all docks, mooring piles, dolphins, which are like docks in the pilings in the middle of the canal, groins, which are like jetties, seawalls, jetties, and revetments, which are like seawalls, all permanent structures, and similar structures and facilities related thereto, which could certainly include boat lifts. Boat lifts can be floating, which would not be permanent structures, and permanent structures shall not extend further than the waterway, 1/4 width of the waterway for private commercial docking and mooring facilities. So permanent structures are clearly identified in the code. All of those are permanent. We have at Manatee across the way, all the lifts are either bolted directly onto the lift, onto the dock, or there are even some that have pilings that are permanently in the canal with the lift in. We feel that that unit should be looked at as a permanent structure and part of the 25% and part of the variance. We're not saying somebody has to take their lift off now. We're saying dimensionally, things should include the lifts. And in the future, when you are evaluating adding a lift, you need to understand that you're actually adding 8, 10 plus feet to the length of that dock sticking into the canal. So we'd like the variance and Exhibit C to be amended to include existing lifts and the dimensions to be updated accordingly, and we would propose that planning and zoning broaden their definition of the 25% to include the lifts in the 25% when they're doing future permitting evaluations.
Thank you. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Mike Reese. I'm a resident at Mariner Village, the side across from where the variance is going on. The lifts have been talked about quite a bit. They gave that to me as part of what to talk about a little bit tonight. The things that concern me, we've had one accident where a boat was turning, and those lifts, if you're not familiar, are I-beams. They're metal, and they stick out. If you hit that with your gel coat, you're definitely going to damage your boat. So we absolutely are concerned about that, taking up part of that 25% of the dock and then pushing out 10, 12 feet for the lift. You would think 10, 12 feet because a boat 10 feet, they still need a few feet extra to get the lift on. So we just want to make sure that you're very clear about that. We also want to make sure that you understand, if you look at the canal on the other side, some of these lifts actually turned 90 degrees, and they're jutted out into the canal, and they're not horizontal. So we feel that there's a lack of regulation or regulatory kind of oversight on how these lifts can be, put into these docks. They can also be put on their own pilings. So if you take your dock out 25%, then you drill and you put new pilings in past the dock. Now you're way out there, plus now you've got the lift. Oh, wait a minute, now let's turn the lift 90 degrees. You're out in the middle of the area. So we're just bringing it to your attention that we're very concerned about the lifts. If the way the rebuild is talked about in the variance, as far as just replacing what's there as it is, everybody's fine with that. It's not an antagonistic situation that we're in here. We just want to make sure that what's there gets rebuilt just like that, and we can live with it. But as far as pushing the lifts out further, if that happens in the future, we hope that there's some kind of way to dial that back. Maybe have some kind of formula where you give up some dock to put in a lift, that type of thing.
Thank you. Next,
Thank you.
please.
Hi, my name is Craig Madelon. I've lived in Mariner Village for over 23 years, and like a lot of people who move into a boating community or on the water, it's our first time having a boat. It's our first time living on the water. I didn't know a lot of things that a lot of people don't know. I didn't know you can't cut down mangroves. I didn't know you need 25%. I didn't know a lot of things about living on the water. But when you get a boat, you learn quickly. And we are a narrow canal. We're not a big canal. And that 50% is incredibly important to us. Those of us who have a single engine boat, we don't have 3 motors, we can't spin on a dime, we need that 50% to turn around. When 2 boats are in the canal, one coming, one going, that 50% is very important. When the Boynton Beach Police and Fish and Wildlife Commission come down with their big, beautiful boat, they need 50% to turn around. But more so, in the 23 years I've been there, we've had to have our canal dredged. It's incredibly important to keeping our canal active. They come down with a 60-foot barge with a giant crane on it in order to dredge the canal. They need every inch of that 50%. What I'm trying to just say is that as it is right now, in all the years I've been there, I'm not complaining that what's there now isn't okay. We're just concerned that every inch past that will be critical in maintaining our canal properly. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Mayor Shelton, commissioners, thank you for giving us an opportunity to speak. My name's John Conway. I've lived in Mariner Village for probably 35, going on 40 years now. You've heard it again. I'm going to try not to repeat what you've already heard. We don't have a problem with anything existing in the 11 variances. It's not a problem. 3 of those have lifts. Problem with the way I'm interpreting this is what we don't want is a second bite of the apple. You got your variance. You don't get to come in and add a lift on top of what you've already got in excess of the 25%. Now, we don't allow lifts on our side. It's just point blank, we don't. And if you've already heard, one of the big things is a lift is different from a boat. Your boat moves. Your lift does not move. And and some of the lifts actually stick out even farther below the water. So bottom line in it, that's our issue. We'd certainly like planning and zoning to start considering the lifts as part of the structure, but our immediate issue is on the 11 variances, we don't want a second bite of the apple. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good evening, Casey Easley. I live in Manatee Cove. Clear up a little confusion. Their side does not allow lifts, and their HOA president pointed out that the boats are going to stick out 8 feet with the lift. If you're not familiar with mooring whips, my boat sits in the water. It's 8.5 feet wide. If I had a lift, it would only stick out 8.5 feet wide. Now that it's on mooring, my boat sits in the water. It has to sit further away than 8.5 feet because you need room as a buffer when the wind blows so your boat doesn't bang up the dock. So my boat probably sits out around 11.5 feet from the water as the same as Manatee or Mariners Village, same thing. All their boats, they don't have a lift. They're on mooring whips. So their boats also extend out into the canal further than the beam of the boat, which is the width of the boat, 8 feet, sometimes 9 feet. So that argument is mute and false, in my opinion, because if I had a lift, my boat would be further in because it would be right up against my pilings. So if I had a boat lift, it would only stick out 8.5 feet as opposed to 11 or 12.5 feet in the canal, and that's what they're concerned about navigating and turning their boat around, which I completely agree with them. I'm on the same page with them because I have a single engine boat, and I'm sorry, if you don't know how to drive a boat, then you should take some lessons, and because I know how to turn my boat around in the narrow canals where their boats are projecting out and there's lifts on the other side. And because of our natural shoreline, it's not a straight seawall like they're talking about. It curves in and out. So putting a lift in is going to be beneficial because it's going to bring our boats in further to our docks, so there's not navigation issues. Currently, our boats with mooring whips stick way out into the canal. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you been sworn in?
I have.
Okay.
Hi, Kevin Beatty. I'm on the board over at Mariners Way, or Manatee Cove. I'm on the board. We've been trying to do everything the right way here. So I've been in touch with the president for the HOA across the canal. I'm shocked right now that this is even a point that we're discussing because ahead of this meeting, she said she's not going to fight the variance. And here we are. There's opposition to it, and I don't understand why. We've been communicating with them. Our legal counsel has been in touch with their legal counsel. We've done everything that they've asked us to. If this was a concern, it's something that should have been addressed with legal counsel ahead of this meeting, as opposed to at the 11th hour, seemingly derailing everything that we've been working towards, and frankly, wasting everyone's time and money to have our lawyer here again to wait to get this pushed out again. And it seems like it's going to, and I just don't understand. We're doing everything we can to move forward, be good neighbors, communicate, and I don't know what else we should be doing, but from my perspective, we're continuing to jump through hoops that are moving and changing, and I just wanted to voice my frustration with that, number one, and number two, just ask that, we can move forward with this and be done with it and let people rebuild their docks that need to be rebuilt. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you.
If I may.
Okay.
Amanda Radigan, Planning and Development Director. So it sounds like a lot of the concerns is around the interpretation. Currently, the LDRs do not count boat lifts towards docks. They do not count towards docks. Now, the thought process is that your boat lift goes where your boat goes. So we would be putting your boats on the boat lifts, and parking of the boats is not part of the dock. So they do not count towards docks. And the variance requested is for the dock, and that's it. We cannot grant a variance for something that we do not regulate. That doesn't mean if the commission wishes us to review other regulations about boat lifts, we're happy to do that, but for this specific request, it is largely irrelevant because we don't regulate them as it stands today.
Thank you. Sir?
Good evening, David Millage for the record, for the applicant. Just to thank you, Ms. Ragadan, for everything. It seems like from a lot of the public comment tonight, there's one thing that there's a lot of agreement is that they're okay with what's existing today. And that's what the variance is outlining for everybody is we're only requesting what is existing today. Now, there could be a code interpretation that the staff has to opine on as it relates to boat lifts, or maybe there's a future code amendment that the city initiates to clean this up. But tonight, we're only requesting for what is existing today to be approved, just so that any life safety issues could be fixed. They can go to permit. Right now, we're restricted to only doing permits that are 1/3 of the cost. So technically, they can come in today for 1/3 of the cost, get that CO'd, come in the next day, do 1/3 of the cost, get it CO'd, and come back the following day and have a full repair. So we're not asking for anything more. We're just asking for the status quo to remain. And again, these are vested docks that were previously approved and permitted by the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Anyone online?
There is someone online. There's Everett Gowendo is online, and if you could unmute him and allow him to speak for public comment. Sir, if you could unmute and then state your name. Perfect.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Your 3 minutes is starting now.
Okay, I live at 740 Mariners Way, right across from the other folks. My dock is in reasonably good shape. I was trying to get a boat lift permit, and this stopped me from that as well. And as the previous fellow was just talking and explaining, if I put a boat lift in, my boat will come up closer to the dock than when it's being moored on whips. So there'll actually be more room for people to go around my boat when it's docked. So I don't want to take anybody's additional time, because the previous speaker gave the same reasons that I would be speaking about. That's all I need to say, I guess.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Public comment is closed on this item. Do we have any other comments from my colleagues? I'm sure you got it, Commissioner Turkin.
Thank you, Mayor. No, I do want to propose that we clean up the boat lift. That's the only way I'm going to move forward with this, is that staff looks at what was addressed so that can be regulated. And then I think that's a fair compromise between all the residents. So that's my position now.
Commissioner Kelly?
No, I support that, Commissioner Turkin. I understand the position. I totally, your boat lift is only as wide as, if not less wide than your boat. So it makes sense, but I think that we do need to just clean it up so that it's clear, and there's no question as far as that goes. So, so Amanda, if that's looking at other, other codes and what, how that has changed and evolved, especially since South Florida has become quite the boating mecca. But I'm sure it's somewhere in another municipality to look at just cleaning that up and making sure it's clear. So there is no question, and that we're not, let's make sure that we're making this, we're cleaning, this is another one that we're cleaning up that needs to be cleaned up. So, so thank you.
Vice Mayor Hay?
And I support that wholeheartedly.
Commissioner
Amanda.
Cruz?
Same for me. I support cleaning up the language. And again, just to reiterate the public comment, I do want to make sure that it does not go beyond like the scope of what currently is. And there's no ambiguity in the language that could allow for that to happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
So motion to approve?
Second?
Commissioner Turkin made the motion to approve. Let me get the right variance number. Or is there one? To increase the length of the dock more than a quarter in the width of the waterway. And Commissioner Cruz made a second. Is that right, Shauna? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. And the motion passes unanimously. Okay, so we're going back to 4, which is public audience. I want to thank everyone for coming out that's leaving at the moment. Thank you very much. And let's begin with public comment. If you could please line up at each podium. You will have 3 minutes to speak.
I'll wait a moment.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, let's wait till they clear out and quiet down for you.
Mine's nice and friendly tonight.
I like
Enjoy
your-
it.
Anyone else that wants to get in line for public comment while we're clearing out the room a bit? Okay.
Hey, thank you.
You're up.
Susan Oyer, Boynton Beach. So I brought this up at the Historic Resources Preservation Board last night, so those of you who were in attendance, sorry to repeat myself. I've brought up in the past and discussed with Commissioner Turkin, we really should be doing a Founder's Day event. We have multiple days we've celebrated in the past. The actual Founder's Day when Major Boynton got here, and it was in 1895, because I know my great-grandmother and her husband, my great-grandfather, brought them here. And that was celebrated in 1995, the 100th anniversary, which means this year would be the 130th anniversary, and maybe we should be looking at 5-year celebrations. There's also, of course, the, what is it? I think there's a separate official recognition date. I don't know, somebody told me another date, like 1898 last night for something else. And then, of course, there's the incorporation date. But, we're always looking for something positive to celebrate. So maybe we should be looking at a couple of these dates and putting them on our calendars for every 5 years. So, I keep saying, let's do a Founder's Day. And I had gotten the idea from Kiwanis Club, because Kiwanis does Founder's Days around the United States. So we could easily partner with Kiwanis or Rotary or all the assorted groups, Historical Society, Preservation Boards, whatever, and do something. And I'd obviously suggest, late in the fall when it's cool and not some ungodly hot temperature out. Second of all, I'm in DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution, and of course, next year's our nation's 250th anniversary, which we should hopefully be celebrating in a non-apolitical kind of way. And what they have done is they have put together America 250, and that is a collection of websites around all the states. And there's a specific one for Florida, and they are taking a list of events each city or group is doing. And they've got like 3 on there already for Florida. Of course, Boca's number 1. So I really think maybe we should be looking at what we're going to do for our nation's 250th and get it the heck on that website, because we're older than Boca by several years, and that makes us better. And maybe we should be looking at all the other cities that are over 100 years in age too, and maybe we should be doing something as a group and doing historical tours, doing historical visits. We're always looking to increase tourism for our city, so why not do something like that, where you could be here for a weekend and hit a couple different cities and maybe plan something out like that. And I liked that logo. I didn't like the tall buildings because the residents keep telling you we don't want them, so why are you promoting them? And I love the water tower, and I love our sailfish too. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Cindy Falca Di Corrado. I first would like to say, what happened with our comprehensive plan that's already been done? It's been less than 20 years. It was less than 10 years. And what are we going to pay for this new comprehensive plan for our city? Is this another waste of our funds? Because nothing was implemented on the last one, as you well know. Commissioner. We spent time, money, energy, and nothing was implemented. I'm just tired of hearing stuff, spending money, meetings, and nothing gets implemented. I also want to bring up about the license plate readers. Do not believe the lie that this is for your safety. They are tracking citizens' movements across the country in real time. There has been no public vote, no public consent, and no clear policy on who oversees these systems or how long the data is kept. This lacks transparency and is deeply troubling and invites abuse. These are not the readers in the police car. This is AI cameras reading your license plate and pinging a police officer to chase you down. We are not a police state. Facts. They are unconstitutional. They violate the 4th, 5th, 6th Amendments. They violate the statutory 18 U.S.C. Code 241 and 242, which is deprivation of rights under color of law. They violate the Florida Constitution, Article 1, Section 12. They violate Driver's Privacy Protection Act, 18 U.S.C. Section 2721. They are tracking we the people, and we the people say no. I have signed petitions here I'd like to leave before I leave the dais, which I'll hand over there for her to see, of the American people that say, no, we don't want to be tracked. We don't want to be spied on. We don't want to be attacked by the police because they get pinged from an AI that's sitting behind your car around town. And that's mostly here in Boynton Beach, but it is Palm Beach County as well. So I would also like to make a comment in regards to an informational notice of violation, which was put in my door. It's very, again, it's the concern about the wording. It was used to the recent notice. It says informational notice of violation. It was about the garbage pickup. Who uses that terminology? You're already telling people they've committed a violation when you first look at this notice, and it puts shock in people when you especially are a law-abiding citizen and you try to put your trash out on the right day. And many people are very bothered by that, which is in our community. I also wanted to say, in regards to the, excuse me here, I have so much, the CRA purchasing property. Again, I got a notation in my door, on my gate, after the meeting, which I wasn't even aware there was one, of the CRA that wants to purchase property from Gateway to Boynton Beach Boulevard and lease it to corporations. Big corporations shouldn't control our city, and I pray that you vote no on this. They are trying to stop our local leaders, which are our elected officials, from doing what is best for our city. They are not elected officials to speak on behalf of we the people. This is deception, and it's sneaky. That's not right. Local laws belong to we the people, not to the corporation.
Thank you. Anyone else in the room want to speak at public comment before we move to online? Chief?
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Hugh Bruder, Fire Chief. I have with me this evening Marie Guma. She is the guru who runs our first responder mental health program, to say a few words.
Hi, good evening. Guru Guma? No, kidding. Marie Guma. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for having me here, Mayor Shelton and all the commissioners. It's been a couple years since we've seen each other, and I just wanted to give an update on what has been occurring within the city. First and foremost, you are probably one, if not the most trailblazing government administration and police and fire department within the state of Florida. I confidently say that since I have contact with most of them. If it wasn't because of you and the administration that we now have for police and fire, it would be very different from what it looks like right now. Within this year, you know that our year is October to October, so we have 3 months left. The firefighters that we have seen to date from October to now are 46 total firefighters with 173 therapy sessions, as opposed to last year. We had 41 firefighters with a total sessions, 218 total sessions. This year, we have seen a big uptake, I guess, in police officers. It takes a while to build the trust for both fire and police. We have seen 37 police officers with total sessions, 148 total sessions this year so far. Last year, we saw 21 police officers and 122 therapy sessions. So that's a total so far this year, 83 first responders that we have seen, and 321 sessions to date. Last year's total, 2023 to 2024, were 62 first responders seen with a total session of 340. So we do have rollover sessions that roll into every year that are not used. We've attended about 12 to 15 critical debriefs. So when there's a pediatric call or any kind of incident that has created some form of overexertion more than the typical, a traumatic call, then we go and we assist. We either assist in the debrief or carry the debrief. So we've done 12 to 15 already this year, and we did a total of 7 last year. We've handled 2 major mental health incidences, including maybe suicidal ideations. We've done 2 this year already, and we did a total of 4 last year. And so far this year,
You can finish it, that's fine.
we've saved
You're
2
fine.
marriages, and last year we've saved 4 total marriages. So,
Great, thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Anyone else for public comment before we move to online? And I don't see anyone online, do you?
No, there is no one online.
There is no one online, so we will be closing public comment and moving on to administrative. As we move on to the administration portion, 5A will be to ratify the board's decision to name Lori Wilkinson as chair and Sandra Watson as vice chair for the Education and Youth Board. May we have a motion to ratify the chair
Motion
and
to
vice?
approve.
So move.
Okay, we are
Second.
hustling. Commissioner Cruz made the motion, Vice Mayor Hay made a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to advisory board and appointments, we have 1 application for the Building Board of Adjustment and Appeals. There are 5 regular positions and 1 alternate position. The nomination goes to Commissioner Kelly. Would you like to make your motion?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I would like to nominate Earl Baker to that regular position.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly moved to approve the, I should say approve the agenda. Who was your?
Who
Earl
appoint
Baker.
Earl Baker.
Earl Baker. Commissioner Kelly moved to, made the motion to approve Earl Baker. Vice Mayor Hay made the second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. We have 1 application for the Historic Resources Preservation Board. There are 3 regular positions and 2 alternate positions. This nomination goes to Commissioner Cruz. Would you like to make your motion?
Yes, Mayor, it's been brought to my attention that there have been at least 1 more application whose name is not on the list. So I would like to make sure that we include everybody who submitted application since the last appointment, just to make sure that we have everybody that was there. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and table my appointment.
Understood.
Yes.
Second?
Commissioner Turkin made the motion to table. Commissioner Cruz made the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion, all those in favor say nay. Motion passes unanimously. There are no applicants for the following boards, but we encourage residents to apply if you are interested. We have the Art Advisory Board, Education and Youth Advisory Board, Library Board, Recreation and Parks Board, and Senior Advisory Board. We're now moving on to,
Mayor?
yes.
Can we get an explanation on why that 1 name was omitted? Was it not on time?
I
Or
would-
what was the reason?
We'd have to check with staff on that. I do not know.
The staff have a response to that?
Can we maybe bring it back the next meeting, just figure out
Send an
why
email.
that person was
Okay.
missing, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay,
okay, good.
thank you.
No problem. Moving on to the community support funds, I have 2 community support fund requests, each for $1,000 for the PBC Literacy Coalition and the Restoration Bridge International. Commissioner Turkin has a community support fund request for the East Boynton Little League for $1,500. May we have a motion to approve this request and a
Motion
second?
to approve.
Second.
Vice Mayor Hay moved to approve this community support fund. Commissioner Turkin was the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to consent agenda. We will now be moving on to the consent agenda. If my colleagues want to pull any items from consent, let's begin to my left with Commissioner Turkin.
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Kelly?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor Hay?
I'm good.
Commissioner Cruz?
If I can just briefly mention something that's
Please.
on there without discussing. I just wanted to mention 7D is going to be the Gulfview Harbor paving. I know some constituents are probably watching the meeting, so I just wanted to say.
We're on 6.
Jeez, I apologize.
Come
No
six.
worries. I'm going ahead, I apologize.
It's already been a long
We're on the
night.
surprise.
No,
You were in the
I just came back from the
surprise.
restroom, sorry.
So if there are no further changes, may we have a motion
Motion
to
to
approve the
approve.
consent agenda? Commissioner Cruz made the motion to approve. Vice Mayor Hay made a second. All those in
Sorry,
favor say aye.
Commissioner
Commissioner
Turkin.
Oh,
Turkin.
Commissioner Turkin, Vice Mayor Hay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to 7, consent bids and purchases. Before we address the consent bids and purchases, is there a motion to take the item 7A from the table? We already did that one, didn't we? No, we did 8B.
Yeah,
was
7A was previously
Runs.
tabled, so we need to put it back on, remove it from the
Motion to
table.
remove from the table.
Second.
Commissioner Cruz moved to remove it from the table. Commissioner Turkin made the motion. Commissioner Cruz made the second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Now you can address whether,
If there's anything to pull.
if she wants to address 7B.
You're up for 7B?
7D, just wanted to mention that there's going to be a purchase order for the paving in Gulfview Harbor, and that's going to be approved now. We will be providing further updates with regard to the actual paving dates. Thank you.
Andrew, real quick, Chapel Hill's on here, right? Did we republish and add that into the agenda? I see it. We're good. Thank you. We're good.
It is on there, good.
I don't have anything I want to pull.
I would like to pull 7K just for informational purposes, but we can go ahead and move forward with the rest.
And Mayor,
Yes,
I would like to pull 7X.
okay. Okay. Commissioner Kelly, since you
Let's
mentioned it
approve
first,
it.
Wait,
okay.
motion
to approve
the agenda
the-
as amended.
As amended,
Second.
7 as amended.
and then
Made the
motion to
first.
approve.
You made the second. Did you make the first?
I just second.
Okay, you both made a second, so who's making the first?
I made the first.
Commissioner Kelly made the motion to approve the agenda as amended, and Commissioner Turkin made the second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, and then would you like to start, Commissioner Kelly, with item K?
Thank you, yes. Andrew, if you could just, or even staff, come up, I just wanted to briefly just going to give kudos to staff for spearheading this. This is something that I have been working on for now 2+ years. As many of you know, Lawrence Road on the west side of our city has become one of our main thoroughfares into the city, and it's an eyesore, to say the least. And so I have been working very hard with staff and actually have had the full support of the commission to allocate funds the last budget cycle for this year to work on those medians. And so I thank staff for, working with the county. But if you could just quickly just give a brief overview of timing and what this entails.
As far as timing goes, there's 9 months in here for design. We should have final design and start construction late '26 is what we're anticipating. And this is for improvements between Hypoluxo and Gateway Boulevard.
Great, I cannot wait for this to happen, and I will, I cannot wait, my residents can't wait, so we're excited to have it, and I just thank staff for handling this and working with the county on this. It's important that we, in the last year, we've prioritized beautification and taking care of our city, and this is just another step in that direction in District 4, and we're super happy about this, so thank you so much. Motion to approve 7K.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly made the motion to approve 7K. Commissioner Cruz made a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. And let's move on to Vice Mayor Habe with X.
Yeah, the reason I pulled 7X, I really want staff to discuss the benefits of this move. I know the figure is a high figure, but it's spread over 10 years or so. But I wanted the staff to share with the public the benefits that the city is going to receive by making this switch, to the, what is it, Workday and, what is it called, Sprint Point? Yeah.
Sprint Point.
Okay, that's good, close enough. But just share with the public this, I think it's a tremendous move, but I want the public to be informed.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, for allowing me to talk about this topic today. So, name is Alan Lawson. I'm your Director of Finance for the city, essentially your financial officer. So I have 30 years in finance, and I've probably implemented around 12 ERPs over my career. The reason why that's important is that when I started here 4.5 months ago, it was immediately communicated to me the importance of better systems and things that are going on in the city to help them do their jobs. Luckily enough, you guys have already gone down that road, and with Fred's IT team, as well as what Dr. Calcat is doing with the utilities team, they were well down the path. And why is that important? So, next, the clicker, sorry about that. How do you click it? Is it here? You click it for me. All right. What is an ERP system? So an ERP system essentially is the backbone. It's the backbone of your organization. It's the software system that integrates and manages all the core business processes within the city. So finance, HR, warehousing, utilities, all of it in one unified system. And the goal of that is to streamline all our operational processes to help with better decision-making and improve efficiencies within the organization. Next. What's happening right now, what I found is that we have a fragmented ERP environment within this city. You see the Band-Aids up there. There's a different system for HR. There's a different system for auditing. There's a different system. Yeah, there's all different, right? Go ahead and go to the next slide, please. And what we found is the why is it's an integrated solution. We have 9 systems, 7 core systems, 9 subsystems that we can go into one integrated system with Workday and SpryPoint. And what that does is we have a responsibility to have positive relationships with our citizens so that they can see the data that's available on our website immediately, day to day. That can happen. It redirects our city leaders, activities and attention on city policies, systems, and processes to improve efficiencies within the city. And then we have a financial responsibility to essentially create a stable cost environment. And with this, we'll have stable cost over the next 10 years, which I'll get to later in the presentation. And go back. Ultimately, we need to utilize, and we'll get to this too, around appropriate information technology, which we are not doing today. But what does that mean from a business translation perspective? So we need to enhance our customer experience with our citizens in the city. We need to eliminate the manual processes that I would tell you we are stuck in 1995. I'm still today getting paper copies of receipts and invoices. All this needs to be streamlined and automated. We need to also have a system that is scalable. We are constantly changing as a city, and we do not have systems in place today to handle the growth that we are trying to do here. Wow. And then the big piece, and I think you want to get to this, is around the modernization and automation. And really on that is talking about the AI component that everybody is talking about. And Workday and SpryPoint have that in their software. They're leading on that. They invest a significant portion, up to 36% of what they're doing, their cost is going into AI development for that future growth, for that scalability of the city. And what I'd like to do next is, go ahead to the next slide, is bring up both Anthony Garcia and Jim Walters from Workday and SpryPoint. Just about a minute or so, talk about Workday and what the values have within.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Anthony Garcia. I'm with Workday, part of our government practice. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, for having us today. A couple of words I just want to say. If you vote for this and you approve it, you're going to be joining a Workday community. It's very, very vibrant. They're doing a lot of transformation in the organization, what Mr. Lawson said, really moving forward in the future with technology. And you'll be joining over 250 Workday government entities across the country, some of those in Florida, City of Orlando, City of Gainesville, City of Sarasota. We have other counties as well. I want to leave you with 3 thoughts here. I call them the 3 V's. The first V is you have a vision. And I heard that throughout this. You have a vision, you have a vision. We align to that. We will support that. We are going to be the back end of that ERP that's going to help you get to that next level in your vision and your mission. The second V is value. And value is probably the most important thing if you're going to approve anything, is what value are we going to get as a city? And Mr. Lawson is going to talk a little bit about that in his presentation about the value. But the last V, which is probably the most important one, is validation. After you go live, I want to commit to you. I want to come back here in 2 years and do validation with you and say, here's where you were in 2025. Here's where we are in 2027. Here's all the efficiencies you gained, both from a people, from a financial, from procurement, everything within the city. I want to commit that to you from a Workday perspective. I do want to do that, and I hope you approve this item.
We're going to hold you to that.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jim Walters. I'm an enterprise account executive with SpryPoint. Just to echo on Anthony's comments, SpryPoint is a leading best-of-breed utility platform. Our logo is Smart Solutions for Smart Utilities. We'd love to bring the city of Boynton Beach onto our platform. We have over 100 clients. Some of those in Florida include City of Fort Lauderdale, Clay County. We also have Bonita Springs, Fort Pierce, several others. So with regards to what the future holds, we're really trying to bring in customer engagement. A lot of the utility platforms have passed. You really interact with your utility once a month, and that's when you get a bill. With this new technology, you're going to be able to use omni-channel communications, receiving text messages, emails, outbound voicemail, meet the customer where they're at, inform them where there's a problem in advance, be proactive with your communications. Those are just some of the benefits you're going to receive by moving ahead with this SpryPoint solution. Thank you.
One last question for me is that I know this is a huge project, and it's going to be probably phased in. What is the first area that you're going to focus on for the city of Boynton Beach?
Let's see here, can you select the, go through. All right, so the ERP timeline it's a 2-year phased project. After today, really what's going to start happening is immediately it's the data component, beginning to pull all the data out of these 9 separate systems. That is some pretty heavy lifting that's going to happen. And then we're actually going to start the implementation once the data has been cleansed and we're able to facilitate it into the new systems. October 1st will be the start date that we start with finance. So phase 1 is the finance piece of that. And the ledger and things like that, and then as well as the utility side. There's 2 sides of it. We have the utility data set as well as the organization core data set that will start that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And then the phase 2 is going to be starting sometime mid-next year is the HR component, right? The HCM system, it's HCM up there, but it's HR, and that is payroll. And then that'll take phase, and the final component, which we're still working out, is whether or not we can actually streamline the budget module at the same time we're doing finance. But as you guys have been a part of the budget process, it's huge. And we're looking at whether or not we can do both at the same time with the current staff that we have in place. So we're trying to figure that out. Maybe we can slide it forward and get it done a little bit quicker than 2 years. I'm not so sure that can happen.
So it's going to cost us about $1 million a year, spread it over a 10-year period, roughly?
So,
Ballparkish.
So what we're looking at is, and I'll get into the act, so you're looking at today, if I were to take the cost of all 9 systems, okay, that doesn't mean that some of them expire and I've got to renegotiate the contracts, right? The costs are actually going up. But for right now, if I were to take that cost, it's roughly $11 million for the current systems network that we have in place. The contract that we have is essentially the same money. With the implementation, it's $11 million with Workday and SpryPoint. That's guaranteed. So over the next year 1 and year 2 is really the implementation and the subscription. And then years 3 through 10, you can see it's just strictly the subscription rate, and it's roughly $11.4 million. And we'll be spending that regardless of what system that we do. Actually, we'll probably spend a lot more if we get in our current state, because you're going to have to bring in, we're growing. There are things that already we're going to have to start changing software and bringing in more software that they can already do. We're getting best in class with Workday and best in class with SpryPoint.
So in the long run, as I have this phrase, it will pay for itself.
It will pay for itself. So
that always brings a chuckle out of my wife, because I use that phrase all the time. She doesn't believe it then either. But thank you.
Yeah. So really, and we're looking at the financial operational expectations, right? The budgeting process is massive. We're looking at a 60% reduction, right? And I think we're looking, and I think we could even improve upon the reduction. It's called reduction in out of policy spend, because things are happening so fast with projects and events that we don't know really what we're spending, because we're just moving at the speed of light. And the systems are just too slow to catch up. And so sometimes we're a little bit ahead of ourselves when it comes to cost control. So this will eliminate a lot of that, because it's in real time.
Now, those are the 9 systems that you were talking about?
Yes.
There won't be any more capital outlay for those systems, right, when we bring this?
We will phase them out over time. They'll be completely gone in 2 years.
Beautiful.
Some of them will be gone after 1 year.
Very good.
Most of them will be gone in 1 year.
Outstanding.
Excellent. Any other comments from my colleagues?
No, I just wanted to say this is a positive change to, enhancing our accountability and efficiency within the city, and, just increasing communication with our constituents. That's it. Just
Excellent.
motion to approve if that's the next thing.
Thank you, Ellen. Thank you to everyone who came.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Cruz made a motion to approve R 25-198. Commissioner Turkin made a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. So we have 2 public hearing items. Oh, we just went over 8B, so we only have one. We have one public hearing item. Public comment will be permitted on this item. I will turn to the city clerk to read 8A into the record. We can have staff begin the presentation.
Proposed ordinance number 25010, first reading an ordinance of the City of Boynton Beach, Florida, amending Code of Ordinances, Part 3, Land Development Regulations, Chapter 2, Land Development Process, Articles 6, Impact and Selected Fees, and providing an effective date.
Thank you, Amanda Radigan, Planning and Development Director. This is one of the simplest code amendments that I have ever processed. We are changing one word. This is to do with the mobility fees. We had initially drafted that these would be applicable to permits that are submitted on a date versus issued on a date. All of our other fees are based on when permits are issued, not submitted. So this is largely administrative to streamline the administration of these fees.
Any comments or questions from staff on this? No.
Motion to approve?
Nope. Don't we have public comment? Right, Shauna?
Is it first reading?
On first reading?
Yeah.
First reading?
Since this is a planning and development board item, it needs to have 2 public comments.
So public comment is permitted at this time, with each person having 3 minutes. If you would like to speak, please come on down. No? If there's nothing else, may we have a motion to approve proposed ordinance number 25009 on the first reading?
So move.
Second.
Vice Mayor made the motion to approve. Commissioner Kelly made the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No, I'm sorry, roll call vote, please.
Oh, roll call vote.
Roll
Okay,
call.
Tammy, that's all you.
All you, Tammy.
Commissioner Kelly?
Yes.
Commissioner Turkin? Stepped away. Commissioner Cruz?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Hay?
Yes.
Mayor Shelton?
Yes.
Vote passes 3-0. No, 4-0. I'm
4-0.
sorry.
We're all out of it. Okay, we've already taken care of 8B, so we can now move on to 9. There's no city manager report, so 10, we're going to move on to regular agenda items. The first item is resolution number R25-137, amending the adopted comprehensive fee schedule for the Recreation and Parks Division for fiscal year 2024 to 2025. Before they address the item, is there a motion to take the item from the table?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Kelly made a motion to remove it from the table. Vice Mayor Hay seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes 4-0, or, yeah, 4-0. Can we please have staff begin their presentation?
Good evening, Ted Lujan, Compliance Manager, Parking Services Division. So I'm coming back here to give a recap of what we talked about last meeting on June 3rd and propose some new changes that we've received from feedback from the commission. So in our last meeting, we talked about the citation fee increase to $40. And that's because, again, the daily max is at $35, the citation's at $25. So it's easy for any parker to just take the citation at $25 versus paying the actual fee. For our new processing fee of $10, what that would do is essentially if there's a user error, you input a 0 instead of an O, or you have multiple license plates onto your Park Mobile app, and you pay for the wrong one, then we would, instead of charging you a $40 fee, would then have you pay a $10 processing fee. We also have the hourly rate that would like to be increased to $350 from $250. So again, the fee only went up once in October of 23, when we went from $150 to $250. And of course, we in the city of Boynton Beach have approximately 3,300 veterans in our community, so we'd love to present them with a military veteran annual pass at $50 and have them take advantage of that. Here are the new recommended. So currently speaking, our boat ramp fees are at $200. The surrounding communities, they're much lower than that. So we have Lantana approximately $52. Other communities, Lake Worth is at, I believe, 73. So it makes more sense. Staff is recommending for us to decrease our fees from 200 down to 100. Also, the second piece that we'd like to do is a non-resident annual beach pass to increase it from 200 to 250. One more thing that I wanted to talk about is that out of 1,700 permits sold this year, 65% of those permits sold are to our senior residents. So they're taking advantage of that program of our system. So, that's something that we'd like to increase. We'd like to promote and advertise more so we can have more of our seniors, more of our residents to take part of the, $65 for residents and $50 for senior residents. And that is it. I'll take any questions that you may have.
I am good. Do you have any questions, Commissioner Turkin?
Nope, I just urge my colleagues to support this. I know during COVID, for me, the boat ramp fees were increased and there's a lot of pushback and there was no ability to speak against that because of what the world was going through at that time. So I'm very happy to see that we're taking this back to, pre-COVID rates. And so, nothing else from me, and I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Wait, hold
Good
on.
discussion.
Yep. Go.
Mike. During our review or meeting that we had regarding this item, we had, we had a conversation about potentially adding some specific parking spaces. One of the questions that I asked was, how many total parking spaces do we have in the Oceanfront Park? Do you recall that number by any chance?
Correct. Right now, I believe it's 258 parking space.
258. My concern, and I'm just gonna be real here, we're adding new categories, which are very positive categories. But the number of people that fit into those categories are gonna be massive. So what's gonna happen is we have 225 spaces at this time. We're decreasing, we're creating a new category, which is, it's good. But at the same time, it's gonna add a lot more cars and it's gonna potentially decrease revenue in the long term, which has a disparate impact of increasing the cost for our senior citizens, like my constituents and many of your constituents as well. So that's one thing that I have a little bit of concern with. I know we used to be at, I think, 150 an hour, if I recall correctly. Last year, we brought it up to 250.
So it went from 250 an hour on October of 2023.
Last year went up to 250.
No, 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
And now we're looking at 350, yeah. So I do see we're taking care of certain populations, but are we potentially creating an increase to our constituents? And then one more thing that I wanted to ask is, I know we talked about a few items, but I know it was like creating a few parking spaces specific to pass holders, and I was wondering if that's something that we could do. I don't know if we need consensus from the wards or is, on the administrative side, but it would be nice to have, some parking spaces that are specifically designated for pass holders so that when you do go to the beach, and we're gonna have a lot of people there, that there's potentially opportunity for at least maybe 15 of them to have a secure spot.
I can speak to that, Mayor. That is something that was brought up at multiple people on the commission. So that is something that we're going to look at potentially piloting that and creating some number of spaces at the top. My one hesitant concern there was, there's a lot of demand for those spaces. But in talking with, I think there's a path forward with that. We'll look at potentially doing 10% of the parking spaces there, some up top and then some at the bottom. So I don't need you guys to weigh in on that particular item. That's an administrative thing that we'll do. But that is something that I'll work with Ted and the group, and we'll see about accomplishing that. I know there's been a lot of requests for that.
Yeah.
It's very similar to, they do that in Lake Worth. So we're going to try and accomplish that as soon as possible. And we'll definitely, I'll report back to you individually.
Thank you so much. And the other thing we discussed was just thinking about the number of people that could fit into certain categories. Something that I had thought about is if we could make it a category for like disabled veterans specifically, but I don't want to open a can of worms, so just gonna let it be, but it's something to think about because.
Just so you know, the disabled veterans actually are exempt, so they could actually park.
For free?
Yes. They can park in a disabled handicapped space, and they actually are free it's in state statute. So we're good on that, actually.
Okay.
So I'm glad you brought it up, though, because we are honoring that.
Yes. Well, yes, thank you. Any disabled person would be free, correct? But there's a certain number of spaces?
Just the veterans. This is an exclusion for disabled veterans in state statute that we do honor here.
Good, okay. Well, that's good to know. All right, thank you.
We have about 3,300.
Approximately.
3,300, yeah, okay.
Okay, are we still good?
Yep.
So we have Commissioner Turkin, who made the motion.
Oh,
And we
seconded.
have Vice Mayor, who made the second motion.
Sorry, last thing.
R2, R25-1, oh, go ahead.
Last thing. Can we remove, I know we talked about it during the meeting, but can we remove the minimum time? I think it wasn't discussed here today, so I just wanted to make sure that that was the case. Like, there was a minimum 2 hours for parking at the beach. I wanted to remove that over-regulation of it and just like let people park, as long as they wanted to park at Oceanfront.
Well, so at Oceanfront, the average.
Point of order.
Sorry.
I think that would take consensus from the dais if we wanted that change, and that would be an amendment to the motion that's on the table now. That's something that I rest where my motion is as it sits.
Great.
If there's no motion to amend, or no motion to amend the motion, or no proposed amendment to the motion, then there needs to be a vote on the motion.
Needs to be a vote on the, so we have a motion, we
So
have a second.
We have a motion
So
to
I just wanted
approve.
clarity. So do we have a 2-hour minimum for parking at the beach and we're increasing the price?
Yes.
Okay.
If I may, so the average stay at the beach currently right now is 2 hours and 9 minutes. So people stay there for a minimum of 2 hours. So now the issue is if we remove that, then they'll get a citation for $40, and when we know for sure that they'll do their best to stay there at least 2 hours. So that's why, and our surrounding communities have that 2 hour minimum as well. From Palm Beach County down to Broward and Miami-Dade.
Okay. Commissioner Turkin made a motion to approve resolution number R25195. Vice Mayor Hay made the second motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
And the motion passes 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I would like to add one thing into future
Or
agenda items.
Well, we got to do B.
10B.
Yeah.
10B.
Charter Committee.
Proposed resolution R25-195.
Hold on, I got it. Okay. 10B. The next resolution is R25195, which will allow for the establishment of a charter review committee. Can we have staff please begin their presentation?
Shauna Lamb, City Attorney.
Go for it.
We've heard direction from this commission to have a charter review committee. So this resolution gives each member of the commission the ability to pick a person. You will send me the name of that person for the clerk to verify all of them. There are certain requirements that they have lived in the city at least a year and that are registered to vote. Once that is verified, then we will submit the committee to the commission on August 5th. On August 5th, that same meeting, the commission will give them direction to which items they would kind of like them to look at, but the Charter Review Committee does also have the ability to look at other issues or other charters provisions. And then they will have regular meetings that will be open to the public to discuss that. On October 21st, it is a short time frame, so on October 21st, they will come back to the commission with their proposed changes. And then after that, there will have to be an ordinance with regard to which changes are to be made, and the referendum has to be sent to the supervisor of elections by December 7th. We have a very short time frame on this one. My recommendation going forward is that perhaps in maybe November or December, we consider making an ordinance that requires a charter review committee every 5, 7, 10 years, whatever this board desires. And then on January 1, we either carry over the existing members to continue to do a full charter review of the entire charter, not just specific items that the commission desires or that they think is in need of being changed immediately. To do the full, we're just not going to have time to do a full charter review at this time. So that would be my recommendation, that in January, we either pick a new Review Committee or this one, they'll have a year and then potentially go for the next election.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Attorney. Just for clarification, I want to make sure that this committee does have the ability to review the charter and that they'll have someone from your staff at these meetings for reference or any clarification if needed. Because what's important for me is that this board operates without restriction. And, you know, there's a lot of historical knowledge in this city, you know, and so I want to make sure that they have the opportunity to come up with ideas and present them versus the commission. Yes, I agree, you know, we can maybe look at some macro level stuff, but ultimately, with any advisory board or committee, you want those expertise, you want those recommendations to come from the ground up.
That's
So-
correct.
So I want to, so this does allow for that.
But in order to present a recommendation to the commission, there has to be a majority vote of the Charter Review Committee
On the
to bring
committee.
it forward.
Okay.
So they can consider any items, but
Sure.
it has to be a majority vote of them in order to present it as your recommendations, the final recommendations to the commission.
Understood. Thank you.
Mayor, if I may. Shauna or staff, I am curious how staff will be involved in this process. I want to make sure that, you know, there are a lot of things, there's a lot of different departments, a lot of different areas that would have recommendations or, you know, have noticed things that aren't working or that need to be changed or updated. So I want to make sure that it doesn't just become, you know, one staff member that's the liaison, and then we're not including, you know, other staff that, so I wanted to kind of speak in open about, you know, really wanting that transparency with staff, especially, you know, in particular, our staff members who have been here for many years and have seen the changes to the charter and what has worked and what hasn't worked, and it may not be something that I know about or someone else on the board or another staff member or just somebody in the general public. So I want to make sure that staff is really involved in this process as well, and I understand that it's a short time frame, but whether that be that staff submits, you know, charters for review or however that looks with their recommendations or their thoughts. But I would like to know kind of what's your thought on that. And
The way this resolution is written, so typically, if we had more time, there would be, typically recommendations could be from the public, the commission, the city manager, or the city attorney. This one, because of the time frame, it's a little bit narrower because we literally have 2 months to make recommendations. Normally, it would take a year. And that's why I was saying, okay, let's go with the shorter one this time, and then in January, we start a full-blown charter review. However, I will say, their meetings of the Charter Review Committee will be open to the public. So anybody who's wanting to make a public comment can certainly come and make public comment, whether that be a staff member or anyone. A city attorney, either myself or someone from my office will be present, and then the clerk will also be present because they have to post the notices and do the minutes and those sorts of things. But again, it is going to be really kind of a quick time crunch, and I think initially this was brought up to address some of the commission's concerns with residency requirements and those sorts of things. So I don't know that we'll be able to get to every single thing this time. But again, I do think overall, good practice is to have a standing ordinance which requires the charter be reviewed that by every, 5 to 7 years.
Right.
And that typically that time frame, they'll have a whole year to take public comment, to do all of those things, to do town halls, and get all of that feedback before the recommendations are made to the commission.
okay, great, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, for the record, that I expect that staff to be involved in this process as much as possible. Thank you.
Any other comments, Vice Mayor Hay?
Oh, this particular subject or any?
This particular,
No.
okay.
No.
Commissioner Cruz?
I do have, thinking on a principle, right, that the charter of the city of Boynton Beach is our constitutional document. I think that it's in the best interest of the city, of the residents, to take our time and to do it well the first time. I don't know if rushing it in 2 months for specific items is in the best interest of our residents. I have a little concern with that. I don't think that we should be rushing. I understand the desire to review the charter, and I agree. I think every so many years we should be reviewing it, but we should be doing it in a holistic way where we review the entirety of the document as a whole, and we do it right the first time. But that's it. Thank you.
Just for clarification, this is an ongoing committee. This committee is not going to sunset after October, and my understanding is for October, if there are elections in March, that's why there's this rush, because if there was suggestion from this committee to put anything on referendum for the ballot, great. There may not be elections in March. There's potentially maybe an opposition, right? And so then either way, regardless of what's proposed, would have to wait until the November 2026 ballot, in theory, if there was no city elections. So, you know, this is an ongoing thing. I definitely hear your concern. We've talked about the verification of residency, as we've seen fly by night, haven't seen anyone around recently. And so I think it's important, for me, that item is separate from this. I want, if there is elections, I want the residents to vote on a legal requirement of verification of residency. That is important, and I think that will pass with a great amount. And so I definitely understand your concern, Commissioner Cruz, and I definitely agree with doing this holistically. It's just we have to start somewhere, right? We don't want to procrastinate. We don't want to ping pong. And I think this is a good way to get started and let this be continuous, right? This isn't just, hey, let's have this committee. No, let's continue this and let this be something that is a change agent for the city in the future, right?
I have one question.
I'm sorry, I did one point of clarification. It does, the way this is written, this committee is set to adjourn in October once they make their recommendations.
Okay, I'm not going to go for that.
Okay, but then we discussed having an ordinance which would create another one, but I could change the language in the current ordinance that they do not adjourn.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I can change the language now in a resolution that says, and then in January, they will do a full review of the charter, begin a full review. My only thing is, I think for best practices, we do at some point, I strongly recommend to the city that you have a standing ordinance requiring it.
Yes.
Because the last time this was done in this city was in 2011.
So let's, if there's consensus, I'll propose we take your recommendation of amending the language, and then in that time, we will develop an ordinance as well, and this committee will continue to be longstanding and not adjourn.
Well, and they may not, we would hope that they have recommendations and they agree, but as the city attorney said, they have to also agree on what they bring back to us. So they may not have anything by October, and so we're talking about something that may not even be an issue, and we may have this continuing, but the charter is it's a living, breathing thing. It's forever, it should forever be changing as the nature of the city changes. So it's a living, it has been dead for a long time, but it's really supposed to be a living, breathing document that is changing with the times. And so I think we need to get back in the habit of updating the charter with the times and not let it die, and then we're here trying to resurrect it, so.
Just one quick question then. So since we've talked about it, we talked about drafting a resolution. How often do you think is appropriate for the charter to be reviewed? Every 5, 7, 10 years?
5 years.
Yeah, because look at how many people have
agree
moved
with-
here in the last 5 years.
Every 5 years.
Right? Dynamics have changed greatly, even in our population, so.
So if we start this one in 2026, then the next one will have to be created in 2031?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, 2030, for 2031, but yeah.
That's what so usually the resolution says a charter review committee will be created every 5 years.
Right.
So,
But we're creating it in 25 for 26 technically, so it would be created in 2030 for 31,
okay.
right?
All right, well,
Right, 'cause technically
if we're
we're
going by
starting-
the ordinance, but I'll figure out language.
Right.
Okay.
I do have one question. Two questions. Can you give us a detail as to what the legal requirements are for appointees of the Charter Review Committee? And you're saying that each commissioner gets one, or mayor also. And then, I know you mentioned that it to be an elector, and I know it's on the resolution, but I just wanted you to say it for the record.
I actually have to pull up the resolution real quick. I apologize.
It's also in the back, like in the cover page, it says membership, and then it lists, there's at least 3 nominations, and then.
Right,
there's
so
different-
there are certain requirements that we want people with either attorneys or former commission members, and other, at least 3 of them have to be higher level. I'm sorry, don't have the resolution directly in front of me.
You want me to read it?
At least 3 of the nominations made by the city commission shall be sought from the following professions: attorneys, previous, current elected officials, individuals with extensive professional experience in city or county government, professors, academics well-versed in local government, historians, public finance professionals. 6.
They have to also be electors, correct? Registered to vote in the
Correct.
city of Boynton Beach. I
And
just wanted to
registered.
clarify for the record.
That is correct. And registered to vote and also have lived here at least 1 year.
Lived in the city at least 1 year. Thank you.
How are we going to verify that?
Now, that's the thing, the clerk, that's why when
Sure.
I need your recommendations or who you want to appoint, I will give that to the clerk to verify, and then we will ratify those elections on August 5th.
Thank you. And then the next question is, since we're continuing that committee and not letting it die per se in December, then does that mean that the committee members get to stay, or is the commission able to switch the member at any time or make changes to it?
So
That was the question.
if you choose to leave the same people, then that's why I was saying it wouldn't adjourn. If you want it wouldn't basically adjourn. I had it so that it would adjourn, so that you would have the ability to potentially pick new people if you wanted to, and then pick a new committee after we do the ordinance, which could be the same people or not. But that's kind of what I envision, but I will do whatever you choose.
So that was my question. Are we as, I guess we could do whatever we want technically on a policy side, but are we technically able to, let's say, if we don't want a certain member to be on the committee anymore for our specific appointee, at any time, we could just say, I would like to switch my member?
I do not have that written in there at this time. I have it written in there that if they leave for some reason, then whatever district they're in, they have the right to appoint someone else. But I do not have language in there that the board has the right to remove a person. I would envision we might have something like that in an ordinance, because it's going to be a longer standing. This one is so short-term, I didn't think it was necessary to put that language in there.
Thank you.
So just for clarification then, do we want to let this Charter Review Committee adjourn at the end of this, which would be after October?
Continue.
Continue.
Or continue the same people?
Continue.
Okay, but understand then, our ordinance, we may have to address situations where maybe the vote of the board could potentially remove a certain member, for
And we
example.
have time for that, for the ordinance.
Yeah, you will, for the other one. For example, if you had someone arrested for a felony, right, you might want to remove them from your Charter Review Committee.
Yeah,
Or
and I think it should be on the
attendance
purview
reasons
of the appointer. So whoever was
Well-
appointing somebody should have the authority to appoint. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it depends on the consensus.
We could talk about that with the ordinance. I'll see what other cities are doing and give you my best recommendations for that. And then, of course, we'll have 2 readings of that ordinance.
What do you need as far as a motion go with the proposed changes?
So at this time, I would need a motion to approve the resolution as amended to include that the committee does not adjourn in October of or does not adjourn at the conclusion of this and will continue into 2026.
So move.
Second.
Commissioner Turkin made a motion to approve everything Shauna just said. And Commissioner Kelly made a second. All of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes unanimously. So for future agenda items, I would like to add two things. I would like to add residential parking standards for us to start reviewing and tackle that big issue, and also to have a discussion on increasing the city manager procurement limit to $75,000 for services. So if we can add that, that would be great. Does anyone have any final comments for tonight?
Yes, Mayor, just real quick, I had correspondence with Chief Bonifair regarding potential shot spotter expansion to go south of Boynton Beach Boulevard. It is not in the budget. I think it's a $14,000 annual cost. We need it.
Yes, we do.
So I'd like that to be proposed. Andrew, if you guys can bring that before us the next time we discuss, so that we can make a general consensus on that item.
Yes. Agree with you there.
One last comment from
Yes,
me.
sir.
We have periodically, we have this guy called Lau to come in here and tell us to come up with strategic planning and what's the most important, choose two from the left, two from the right, up and down and all that. But I never see any update on the results of his visits. I would like to know, are we wasting our money? Are we actually doing it? Is it on the shelf collecting dust? What is the result of all the time and workshops
Strategic plan.
that we spend with this guy called Lau, and where are we going with it? So you don't have to try to answer that tonight, but I certainly want you to answer the next time we meet.
You want it as a discussion in future agenda, or you want it?
Well, if you want to address it in 25 words or less, you can do it now.
So that is something that we're working towards, bringing back some kind of regimented update to the commission on status of projects, the status of the strategic plan. We are looking at transitioning into a different format through the economic development side of the planning side. They're looking to take on the strategic planning component of this and bringing it in-house. So we are looking to stop utilizing outside consultants, bringing it in-house and having a little bit more control. And then we'll definitely do what you're asking, which is bring in more regular quarterly or updates so that the commission knows how we're doing on their strategic items. That's the 2 minutes.
Okay, that's a good Reader's Digest response.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Turpin, you have some
No,
comments?
we've brought
You
this
good?
up before, city manager's
Yeah.
report quarterly, so let's just see that happen. We've
Yeah.
discussed this
Yeah.
plenty of times.
We have an amazing economic development team, and if they're ready to spearhead this, I'm all for that, because they are rock stars, so.
All right, I do want to make one quick comment, because this is probably the only way that I can communicate this to all of you, and I think it's relevant to all the commissioners as well as the mayor. It's been brought up to my attention from one of my constituents that there's been issues with bulk trash pickup and fines with regard to that. There's like a whole post on Nextdoor. I've gotten messages from, from residents. So it's something that I would like to address here, and I don't know if that's something that we can talk about offline or.
As in people
connect.
have a problem with it, or they're having a problem with bulk?
So
What are the
what I've been
specifics?
seeing, and some of it was in your district also.
Yeah, that's an
Majority of
issue
it
in our
is.
district.
It's a
We talked about the whole
but
budget
there's,
cycle.
but it was brought up to my attention from somebody in my district. So it's an issue everywhere. So apparently, if there's bulk pickup on, let's say, X day, and it wasn't picked up, then people are getting a fine for that, and I saw it in District 4 as well. Look in Nextdoor, just search it, you'll see it, but I would
Yeah, I mean, if the
definitely
city
say.
didn't pick something up, then they should not be, but that
Right,
did
but-
not happen
that's
in
like
our
a
district.
We have
It's not a-
residents that drop off on the wrong day,
Yeah,
and then
we have
if
people
they leave it
coming
on the
in-
wrong day, then they get fined, because they're putting it out and it
We
can't
have
sit out
couches
there
if you're
for
looking
Yeah, we
for-
got
4
some
or 5
couches,
days.
but
If you want a couch, come to
if they,
District 3.
if they, I know the city had an issue one Friday and they didn't pick up and they came out the next day.
Right.
and People weren't
Right.
getting signs, so it was fine, but
Some people were complaining on Friday, obviously it was a holiday, so there's also that, but
they
I
work
did
on
see a
holidays.
post on there.
So they did work on the 4th, which
Yeah.
really shocked me, but kudos to the staff on that. But, I think the one thing that we do have is we do have illegal dumping happening in each district. So I encourage all residents to get some cameras, because if the stuff's going to be on their property, unfortunately, we can't say, and we're dealing with that right across the street with Boynton Villas, is they're saying that people are just dumping couches there. And that's not really the case. We know it's the tenants and they're refusing to put up cameras. And if you don't want to put up cameras, you can't prove that it wasn't happening. It's on your property, you're getting a
Can we
fine.
just
That's how I feel
talk
about it.
Or, I don't know.
So multiple fronts on this. I think there's an education component. I do think we also have a code rewrite that's going to be coming down the pipe. So this is definitely a timely conversation. It's definitely on the forefront of a lot of staff's minds. So I think what I'll do is we'll come up with some strategies and bring you back a discussion item, with some ideas on how we're going to improve and help in that area.
Yeah, some of the issues that I've noticed in District 4, in particular in District 4, is they put too much debris out, too big of a pile, then they get a notification, or they put it out on the wrong day, and so, but it comes down to education, and as soon as I pass it on to staff, they educate and handle it, and it's taken care of. So our staff is amazing at handling resident concerns and issues, and so that's my go-to, so.
Anytime we can talk about bulk trash, I'm there.
No, I'm gonna get fired.
So
I'll
we
stay here until midnight.
Yes.
And talk about
So
trash.
we'll
I'll
definitely
wait
bring it
right
back.
I have pictures in my phone from this morning.
Okay, any other comments, or do we have a motion to adjourn?
Andrew, I spoke with the city manager, maybe Adam, since he's talking. I understand that Florida Doge is looking at Boynton Beach. And so I
All
would
of
just,
them.
yeah,
All
multiple
municipalities.
municipalities, but I do understand we received correspondence from the Florida Doge team. So I do want to be kept updated as we move along. I think this is a good thing. It's always good to look and see where we can save, where we can consolidate and be effective and efficient for the taxpayers. And so just want to see both at a micro and macro level, what kind of recommendations they have to where we can, eliminate, slim up some waste, some more efficiencies, things like that.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? Okay, Commissioner Turkin moved to motion to adjourn. Getting there, and Vice Mayor, okay, the second, I'm ready. And we will, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
You don't need to say all that.
Done.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're killing me.